DSW, Designer Shoe Warehouse, is the one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. With sneakers, boots, and everything in between for every style, mood, and occasion, you'll definitely find shoes that get you at prices that get your budget. DSW has what you need, but more importantly, they have what you didn't even know you wanted. You never know what you'll find at DSW. Find the shoes that get you at prices that get your budget at DSW stores or DSW.com.
If your roof starts to leak or your floor's really squeak, you live in a money pit. Money pit.
If your basement needs a pump or your place looks like a dump, you live in a money pit. Money pit. Pick up the telephone.
Fix up your home sweet home by calling 888-MONEY-PIT.
The Money Pit is presented by Dyche Coatings. Now here's Leslie Segretti.
Coast to coast and floorboards to shingles, this is the Money Pit. I'm Leslie Segretti, and joining me is Jim Kensey. How you doing, Jim?
I'm doing tremendous, Leslie. Have a good week, did ya?
Yeah, weeks are good. Show is busy. Work here at the Money Pit is busy. And work at the actual Money Pit, my home is always busy. Why does everything seem to always be falling apart?
Yeah, Leslie, I guess I'm a firm believer in that we're only handed what we can handle. And when it comes to home improvement, people can turn to us and we can help them handle at least that portion of their lives.
Yeah, and we can handle it. I just wish that the paint I put on my kitchen cabinets, 5 years ago, would last more than 5 years. And also, perhaps that I wasn't so fearful of a tall ladder, because I would love to redo the wallpaper in my stairwell.
I've got some cathedral ceilings you can help me out with, Leslie.
No.
Come on, just some, respackling and, painting and priming. That's all.
No. If you want to see a person shaking for their life while holding on to the ladder and paintbrush in one hand while still kind of leaning out because they're crazy, that would be me.
Yeah, 21 feet here, Les. Come on. Come visit.
No.
Oh, come on, Leslie. I'll cover pizza.
You know what? Maybe we rent a cherry picker, and then I will zip around your whole house and paint the ceiling, because that could be fun.
I wonder what a monthly rental would be. I'd only need it for a day or two, but it'd be fun just to get around.
This is me looking up monthly rental for a cherry picker at Jim's residence. Because I'll happily paint. Well, whatever's going on at your Money Pit, guys, we know there are lots of projects, and we know that this is a super busy time of year. And believe me, I feel it. You're busy at home, you're busy with the holidays, you're busy with the kids, you're busy with family, and then all of a sudden something breaks, or something needs fixing, or something happens, because it always does. We are here to lend a hand, and trust me, we've been through it. So let's get to the show this hour. Coming up, are you getting ready to get glowing this holiday season, without leaving the holes in your siding or starting a power outage? We are going to share some smart, damage-free ways to decorate for the holidays. We're going to show you how to keep your home twinkling safely, stylishly, and stress-free. And this is the time of year where people kind of head out of town for the holidays. So whether you're going away for a few days or maybe even a few weeks, making your home look lived in and protected is definitely key to peace of mind. And trust me, I watched Home Alone a few times, so I'm really ready to talk about this segment. It definitely involves cutout characters of Michael Jordan on record players. That's your first note. Okay. Coming up, we're going to share smart, simple ways that you can keep your home safe from break-ins, from leaks, and other holiday disasters so that you can enjoy the season worry-free. And are you ready for that first real blast of winter? We're going to run through the must-have items that you should be stocking up on now before the salt sells out, before that flashlight disappears, and that first snow comes and turns your front step into an ice rink. From filters to firewood to all of the forgotten things in your pantry, we have got your winter checklist coming right up. I know, lots of stuff on your plate this hour besides the turkey, so let's get to it. Give us a call right now at 888-MONEY-PIT. Jim, who's first?
Leslie, kind of out your way in Pennsylvania, we've got Karen on the line, and she wants to talk about adding a railing to her porch. Why don't you fill us in, Karen?
Okay, when we built this home, they put in a prefabbed hollow step. Okay, wider porch and then 2 steps that go down. And my husband wants to put a railing on it, sturdy enough to put a screw in a post to put the railing in, to screw it. The one will be attached onto the house. The other one would be going into that hollow porch. Would that be sturdy enough to do that?
Well, I think it can be sturdy enough if you're using the right attachment points and the right type of screws. Now, when you're going into any kind of masonry, so for your house, with brick or even the hollow concrete steps, you're going to use something called a tapcon, which is just a super specialized type of screw that's meant to go into a masonry surface. And the way it's got these grooves on the stem of the screw itself is that it just kind of has them tighter together. It's a little thicker. So it really just bites into that masonry surface and gives it a really strong hold. And if you use something like that, which is really going to be the appropriate choice for those locations, you should have no problem as long as you're getting the right weight, the right length, really depending on the situation. And you'll have to look at the box because it'll say, for use for this, for use for this much weight on it. So you're getting something that's sturdy and will meet the demands of a railing. And you can find it at any home center. You just have to think some of them come with a very specialized bit, and you do need a special bit to go use for the drill to put the screw in. If it doesn't come with it, just take a look. You can buy it as an attachment. But generally, if you buy the box, it does come with the bit. It does require a little bit more effort to drive them in, but you can't miss them. They're very distinctive. They're usually blue in color. And if it turns out that hollow step just doesn't have enough concrete behind it to really grab, you can drop the post in front of the step or to the side of the step. Really, it's going to depend on how it lines up with the rest of the house. And then you can set that post in soil. And to do that, you would simply dig a post hole. You can use a post hole digger to do that. You dig down about 3 feet, and then you stick a wood post in there, and then you pour concrete. And you can get the Red Bag by Quikrete. It's a fast-setting concrete. Pour it in the hole dry and make sure that post is level. And then you add water to that hole itself and it mixes in place. It doesn't really need a lot of prep, but it definitely dries or cures, I should say, super strong to support that post. So if it turns out that going into the step isn't possible, this is a great way to get the support you need for the post. And it is a super easy DIY project.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for your answer. Appreciate it.
All right, you are welcome. Good home security is important, no question, but it doesn't have to be expensive and complicated. That's why I'm so happy to be working with Cove. They're an affordable, customizable security system that you can install yourself in around 30 minutes. They include cameras offering live video and audio to your control panel or your phone and 24/7 professional monitoring for police, fire, and medical emergencies, giving you absolute peace of mind. Now, we installed Cove at home, and it's a great system because you can get packages that include a hub, door sensors, a doorbell camera, smoke detector, a touchscreen panel, window sensors, motion detectors, and indoor and solar cameras, which really gives you the peace of mind because it is an entire system that is so easy to install on your own. And I love the fact that someone is there monitoring 24/7, which you don't get with a lot of the other home systems. And as a single parent with, now a teen who loves to sneak out, by the way, can't do that anymore, and small kids, it's super important to know that we are protected and there's somebody there that can help. God forbid there's an emergency. And best of all, Cove is affordable. It starts at less than $1 a day. And right now is the perfect time to invest in your home security during Cove's Black Friday Cyber Monday sale event. And as an added bonus, Money Pit listeners get an additional 10% off. Just visit covesmart.com and use code MONEYPIT at checkout for an additional 10% off of your first order. That's covesmart.com, Covesmart, COVESMART.com. You'll be glad you did.
All right, heading out my way in Ohio is Pete, and he wants to talk about some lighting. What's going on there?
My wife and I would like to install can lights on the first floor of our two-story home. Kind of project would I be getting myself into?
All right, well, let me ask you this, Pete. Do you like to fish? Do you enjoy casting a rod, hooking a fish? I'm only asking you this because when you install those canned lights in a finished ceiling, I mean, it's not like something that's open and you can put the wires all where they need to go and it's very easy. When you are going into something that is already finished, you quite literally have to fish that wire through everything to get it from wherever you're pulling that power from to the point where you want those fixtures. And it can be a challenge, but it can also could be fun.
I see what you did there.
All right, so fixtures are there already, but you would want the canned lights on a completely separate switch?
No, they can all be. We can use the existing switch, existing line.
Okay, so here's what you need to do. Obviously, you have to use power. You got to light things up, so you have to lay out those lights. And you want to be careful not to put one where there's going to be a ceiling joist above it because that makes it really hard to install. So make sure you know where they are. Next, you're going to have to get power to that light. And those lights would all be connected together in a series. Then you have to get power into that line, and you also have to get a switch onto that. So it's not an easy project for somebody that doesn't do it all the time. Electricians know the tricks of the trade. They can assess it pretty quickly, and they know what to expect. So I wouldn't consider this a very basic electrical project. It's more of an advanced state. You do need some advanced tools like a fiberglass rod that you use to fish those wires through and get them to the right place. You've got to get power. You've got to get the switch. You've got to get a circuit that goes to all those lights. And because you're working in a finished room, all of this is much more challenging. For example, going from one fixture to the next when you're in the same bay, space between those ceiling joists, easy. But going perpendicular to that means you now have to drill through those joists to get the wires through. That's not so easy. There's a lot to be done, and you want to do this with a minimum amount of destruction to your home. So this really might be something that you want to hire a pro for, all right?
Yeah, let a pro come in and destroy your home. That's great.
Well, hopefully they don't. Hopefully they're coming in and doing the work in a way that you, as first timer for this electrical project, might totally destroy an area where the pro will be like, oh, no, zippity-doo-dah, do it like this.
All right. Thank you very much.
Hey, Money Pit listeners, if we've saved you some time, money, or hassles with your projects, you would totally make our day by leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Just go to moneypit.com/review. Well, we know you're all busy getting ready for the Thanksgiving festivities, so here is a quick refresh that you can tackle right now. You know, the front door is the first impression that your guests will get, so make it shine. Sweep the porch, add a fall wreath, pop a planter filled with mums or some seasonal greenery next to the door, and voila, it's gorgeous. You can even swap in a fresh doormat with a fun or just an elegant fall message. Wipe down the front door and the surrounding trim with a damp cloth to remove the dust and the cobwebs, and suddenly your front entry has an instant refresh. You didn't break out the paint can, you didn't have to do any major work, it's just some elbow grease, and you're suddenly going to have a beautiful front entry that's perfect for the season. All right, so let's get to it. Well, whether you're going full-on Clark Griswold or just outlining the eaves with a gentle twist. You like that, Jim? Clark Griswold?
Nice visual. Nice callback. I like it.
I mean, this really is my favorite time of year. I love the decorating. I love the movies. I love the feeling. I love the energy. So, you know, you've got the best of Leslie for the next, 5 weeks? But truly, guys, whatever you are working on, it could be hanging lights, wreaths, garlands. If you do it the wrong way, you can damage your home's exterior and even pose safety hazards. So before you string a single bulb, let's go over a few smart and safe ways to make your home shine this season without putting yourself or your siding in danger. So let's start with the biggest mistake that people make: nails and staples. Sure, they're fast, and yes, they're going to hold everything in place, but they also leave behind holes, and that can lead to leaks and cracks or just start to let pests inside. Instead, look for those plastic light clips that are made especially for gutters, for shingles, for siding. They're easy to install. They're not going to damage the surfaces, and they're just as easy to remove once the season is over, except that one that's been on my roof since last year, and it's been driving me insane, but I quickly repurposed it when putting up the new lights. But I just, again, fear of heights, didn't want to get back up there to take it down.
I'm with you. I'm so with you.
But they're awesome. And if you use the ones for your roof, if you want to outline or just put something over the gutter, they really just slide under the roofing shingle, and it's a super easy install. Just, take them all down. Now, next up, power does matter, so do not overload your outlets. If you're plugging in string lights, make sure that they're rated for outdoor use. You want to use weatherproof extension cords and ground fault circuit interrupters, those GFCI outlets, because they are designed to shut off automatically if there is a power surge or if they are exposed to water. And you can even upgrade to smart outdoor plugs that let you control those lights remotely, or better yet, set a timer so everything just comes on at dusk and turns off before bedtime. Or if you're crazy like me, turns off at dawn because you want to see the lights all night. But my wallet says turn off at bedtime. So all of that, you're going to save energy, and it will cut down on trips out into the cold. Now, for ladders, this is super important. You want to make sure you're working with a ladder that's the right height for the job. Do not overreach. Always place it on level ground and have somebody nearby to hold it steady. It's also a good idea to hang lights during the day. I know you want to see how they look at night, but you can adjust, folks. This way you can clearly see and avoid any icy spots. If you want to keep it extra easy, think about solar or stake lights. Solar-powered string lights or lawn stakes. They don't require plugs at all, just the sunshine, and they're especially great if you don't have a convenient outdoor outlet or you just want to light up your walkway without running all those cords everywhere. And finally, storage. It's your friend. Once the holidays are over, take the time to neatly coil up the lights, label the bins, store everything in a cool and dry place. That way, next year's decorating is going to be a whole lot more jolly and a lot less tangled. So whether you're lighting up the block or just adding a cozy glow to the porch, a little planning and the right gear can help you decorate safely and keep your home looking merry and damage-free. All right, before you get your sparkle on, give us a call with your home improvement question. Jim, who do we have standing by?
Out in Missouri, we've got Lori on the line, Leslie, and she needs help with spackling. What's going on there, Lori?
Well, I have, it's that popcorn ceiling. I'd like to know an easy way that's not so messy to remove it. I want to have a flat ceiling.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't do that project without having a big mess, and it's going to get quite messy. But there are a couple of tricks of the trade that will help you get through this project. So let's walk you through it. The first thing you need to do is test for asbestos, because you want to make sure that there's no asbestos in that popcorn material. You can pick up a testing kit for the asbestos at any kind of home hardware store near you, or you can use an outside lab. I mean, it's not terribly expensive, but you do want to make sure that it's not asbestos in any way before you tackle this project. Now, once you know that, the best process here is really something called like a wet scrape, and you get a 1-gallon garden sprayer, any kind of garden sprayer, and you spray that popcorn material very lightly. You don't want to overspray it, but you want to kind of saturate it and then let it sit for about 10-15 minutes, and then you should be able to take that wide spackle knife or putty knife and simply scrape that popcorn right off the ceiling. You want to go slow. You want to start in a small area, but you have to make sure that it's really absorbed that water well. And once you've scraped that entire ceiling, you can kind of take a survey of the job. Did you miss some spots? Do you have to go over an area again? But you want to make sure that you've got it all off. The other thing is you can try to do it dry, but it really isn't going to give you the same level of success as that wet scrape. If you do have asbestos, obviously it's not a project that you could do. If there's lead paint, it could be a problem. It's so much easier for the stuff to become airborne when it's dry, so the wet approach is definitely better for a do-it-yourself project. If you do choose to go with the dryer approach, definitely have a vacuum handy. It's going to be super dusty. Same for, a wet dry vac helps you out with the other approach as well. You just want to make sure as you're pulling off all the debris, it goes right into the vacuum or goes right into proper drop cloths. You just have to make sure that you're working with that wide scraper, and just know that you're going to get super messy. And the other thing you should consider here is as you're scraping, try to be careful and not gouge that ceiling. it's not going to be a perfect project because you are working hard to get all of that popcorn off. But if you do end up with any gouges in the ceiling, you can kind of fill it. Primer is going to be your best friend here to make sure that you're getting good adhesion. Don't go with any sort of sheen in that ceiling paint because if there are any areas of unevenness, you're going to notice it a lot more. But and your neck is going to hurt. This is a project that's definitely not a fun one. I hate doing anything on the ceiling, but you're going to be so pleased with the difference you see once that popcorn ceiling is down and real proud of yourself for a do-it-yourself well done.
All right. I appreciate it. My husband's laughing at me.
Yeah, I don't think your husband's laughing at you. I think he's laughing because he's happy because he doesn't have to do it.
As a raider scavenging a derelict world, you settle into an underground settlement. But now you must return to the surface, where Arc machines roam. If you're brave enough, who knows what you might find? Arc Raiders, a multiplayer extraction adventure video game. Buy now for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Rated T for teen.
This episode is brought to you by Rum Chata, a delicious creamy blend of horchata with rum. It's best enjoyed over ice or in your coffee. Rum Chata, delivering vacation vibes any way or anywhere you drink it. Find out more at rumchata.com. Drink responsibly. Caribbean rum with real dairy cream, natural and artificial flavors. Alcohol 13.75% by volume, 27.5 proof. Copyright 2025, Agave Loco Brands, Pewaukee, Wisconsin. All rights reserved.
Hey guys, do you have lots of guests coming over and you need to be ready, right? Well, lots of stuff going on. You've got holiday cooking, extra guests. All of that leads to more strain on your plumbing. And I'm not just talking about the bathroom, although that is one of the things. So let's get to the other stuff. You want to check your garbage disposal. Is it running smoothly? You can grind some ice and citrus peels to clean the blades, and that's going to freshen things up. And remind the whole family and the guests to avoid pouring grease down the drain. It hardens, it gets gelatinous and gross, and that causes major clogs just in time for dinner. So lots of things that you can be doing, lots of things that you should be taking the steps to avoid doing so that those systems that work in the kitchen will continue to function. All right, guys, because everybody's got to eat a turkey, and sadly, all of those dishes do have to get washed. You're going to need the sink for that. Well, the holidays are a time to relax, recharge, and reconnect, but nothing ruins that faster than getting a call that something's gone wrong at home and you're away. Now, whether you're gone for a weekend or a week, a few smart steps now can help keep your home safe from break-ins, burst pipes, and other unwelcome surprises. So first up, make your home look lived in. This is where Kevin McAllister really shined in Home Alone. He knew how to make that place look hoppin' and not just occupied by what? I think he was supposed to be 7. Yeah. Could you imagine? I don't think I could pull any of that together when I was 7. And certainly a boy child having, being in the process of raising boys, I don't think they could have pulled that stuff together at 7, but who knows? So the point is here, guys, you have to make the house look like somebody is in there and that it's busy. And I think the biggest mistake travelers make is letting their home look vacant. So do the basics, put lights on timers in a few key rooms and vary them. Don't have them all turn on at 5. I mean, you saw the bad guys being like, haha, number 5, look, boop, boop, all on. You want the bedroom to come on and go off. And you can, thanks to all of these smart plugs, set the timers for a variety of times. They can go on, they can go off, and it can look like somebody is actually using the house. And motion-activated exterior lights, those are going to be great too, especially near doors and driveways. Now, if you're expecting packages, either pause those deliveries or ask a neighbor to collect them, because truly nothing screams, we're not home, like a pile of Amazon boxes right on the front porch. And speaking of neighbors, let them know you're going to be away. A trusted neighbor is one of your best defenses, and ask them to keep an eye on your house, grab the mail, maybe even just park their car in your driveway occasionally, just to make things look active. Next, lock it down. I mean, all of it. It sounds obvious, but double check that every door and every window is locked. That includes the basement, the second floor windows, and the door from the garage into the house. Consider adding a smart lock or a doorbell camera. They're affordable, and they let you monitor things right from your phone. Now, don't forget the thermostat and don't forget the plumbing. You want to set your thermostat to around 55 degrees. That will keep the pipes from freezing. I always do like 60. I don't know why, but 55 seems to be the recommended number, but I bump it up 5 to 60. That just seems better. So that gives an extra layer of protection to make sure that the heat is on, things aren't freezing. If you have a kitchen cabinet on an exterior wall, open up those cabinet doors. That's going to let the warm air circulate around the plumbing. If you're going to be gone for an extended amount of time, it's really not a bad idea to shut off the water supply to the washing machine or the dishwasher. That's going to prevent major leaks. And also protect against fire. Unplug those non-essential electronics like a coffee maker, a toaster, holiday lights. Do all of that before you go. Even if it's not in use or not on, just unplug all of those things. Not only does this reduce the risk of electrical fire, but it's going to save energy. Now, a security system, if you've got one, use it. You want to make sure it's armed, and you want to make sure that all of your contact info with that security system is up to date. If you don't, now's a great time to just explore basic DIY systems that will monitor the doors, the windows, and motion and alert sensors there that will notify you via smartphone that something is off at the house. Because you're not there. You want to know what's going on. And finally, don't advertise your trip. I know we all love posting travel pictures, but save the vacation bragging for when you get home. Posting real-time updates on your social media just tips off the wrong people that your house is sitting there empty. With just a little planning and a few smart precautions, you can head into your holiday travel knowing that your home is safe, secure, and ready to welcome you back. That's all to make for a very happy holiday season. We don't want to ruin anybody's good time. All right? Jim, let's not ruin anybody's good time. Who can we help out? Who's next?
We have a flooring question coming out of Wisconsin. Leslie, we've got Robin. Robin, how can we help you out?
Hi. We're refinishing our finished basement, and the former owners glued down the carpet on the concrete, and we're scraping off what we can. Do we need to, I'm going to put in vinyl plank flooring. Do we need to sand that down, or should we put a leveler, or is there an underlayment that we can put under? Or is it going to matter if there's some glue on there?
I mean, you're making it sound, Robin, like there's a tremendous amount of glue on this floor. Is it just in little areas? Is there like inches of it all over? What's going on?
Just little areas of unevenness. And we've been sanding it, but that's quite a procedure.
Yeah, and you're going to find that sanding it is just going to kind of gunk up the glue and get everything all stuck. And it's always so funny. I feel like when you try to sand an adhesive, it just kind of warms up and reactivates it back into an adhesive. So that's kind of not the best. So generally with the vinyl plank flooring, certain manufacturers might have an underlayment on the backside, and some might recommend something as the underlayment. But most of the times I would just say follow that manufacturer's recommendations because they know what's best for the product. But for the most part with vinyl planking, you're really not going to need any kind of underlayment. They're either going to overlap and adhere to one another with double-sided tape, or they're going to click and lock together. It depends on what type of flooring product you're working with. But if it is a thinner vinyl plank and you are going to get a lot of flex to it, you might see those areas of unevenness from the adhesive below. If you go with a more rigid plank that has an underlayment, that's going to kind of even out the spaces. I mean, especially if it's truly just little areas, that should do the trick of covering over it and creating a smooth and level surface. And then it's going to really look great.
Okay.
All right. Well, good luck with that flooring project. Thank you so much for calling us at 888-MONEY-PIT. You know, you don't need a floral designer or a huge budget to create a wow-worthy holiday table. You can fill a few mason jars or vases with grocery store flowers, scatter mini pumpkins or pine cones down the center, and add a few tea lights or pillar candles. Make sure you use cloth napkins, and you can even print name cards if you're feeling fancy. Even those small touches can make your meal feel special, and that's what the holidays are all about. Now you guys are party ready, so let's get back to the callers. Jim, who's up next?
Let's head out to Illinois. Leslie, we've got Rich. Rich, what's going on with the siding at your money pit?
I've got a house that we had built in 2012 with cedar siding. It's looking a bit weathered now. We've not done anything, and I'm wondering what the right treatment would be if I just wash it and leave it, if I should wash it and stain it. What's the appropriate process for securing this? Also, whether or not I should seal each board or not.
All right, Rich, that's a great question. And the good news about cedar siding is that it's naturally insect resistant. Unfortunately, the sun still can get to it and cause it to crack. But here's what you would do. First of all, you've got to use an anti-tannin primer, and that's usually an oil-based primer. And you're going to put that on the siding first. And then that kind of seals everything and stops any of the tannins, which is the oil in that cedar, from leaking out. On top of that, you're going to use an exterior stain. Now, what you'll end up with is a house that's siding that looks a lot like the original cedar, yet it's got a colorant added to it, so it's not going to get that kind of faded look that you might not be fond of. And if you go this process with the oil-based primer and the latex-based stain on top, you could probably get about 15 years on this process, especially the first time if you prep it right, and it will look terrific for years to come. All right, Rich, siding project is always a larger project to tackle, but it's definitely a great one, so hope it helps you out.
So good, so good, so good.
New markdowns are on at your Nordstrom Rack store. Save even more, up to 70% on dresses, tops, boots, and handbags to give and get.
Because I always find something amazing.
Just so many good brands. I get an extra 5% off with my Nordstrom credit card. Total queen treatment.
Join the Nordy Club at Nordstrom Rack to unlock our best deals. Big gifts, big perks. That's why you rack.
When you walk into a Burlington, you're walking into amazing prices and great gifts. That's main character energy. Because at Burlington, the holiday savings aren't the only things turning heads. Discover quality finds and perfect presents for everyone on your list, even those who are hard to shop for. Toys and jewelry to new beauty brands and styles, these gifts go seamlessly from our stores to under your tree. Seriously, with these savings, why shop anywhere else?
Burlington deals, brands, wow.
Well, as the temperatures start to dip and the days get shorter, now is the time to shift into winter prep mode before you find yourself scrambling mid-snowstorm for batteries or trying to chip your way down an icy walkway without salt. So whether you're expecting snow, ice, wind, or just cozy evenings indoors, having a few key items on hand now will save you a lot of stress and even money later. So let's start outside. You want to stock up on ice melt now, especially pet safe or concrete safe versions if you need them. The stuff always flies off the shelves with the first cold snap, and you'll want it ready before your steps turn super slippery. And don't forget snow tools. Check your snow shovels, check the snow blower now. If anything's broken or rusted out, it's better to replace or repair it early. And if you do have a snow blower, make sure it starts and service it before you really need it. Now on to the indoors. You want to check your furnace filters and pick up a few extras. Clogged filters do make that system work harder. That'll drive up your bills and cut down the comfort. Stocking up now means that you will be covered for the whole season. Batteries, flashlights, lanterns, extra phone chargers, power banks. Those should all be in one easy-to-find place. A winter storm could knock the power out fast, so you're going to thank yourself later for being ready. I actually just restocked all of that. I was like, I have no batteries. Why are all these chargers in a big pile in one drawer? I can't tell you it's going to last a very long time, Jim. But I did it.
Atta girl.
You know, a few days later, it still looks great, and the right chargers are in the right Ziplocs and all of that. But so far, I think I'm the only person who's been in that drawer. Just give it a few days. When the boyfriend, the stepson, all the kids are around, I give it 5 minutes.
That's called living.
Yeah. I wish other people living would take care of the organizing. You know what I'm saying?
Touché, touché.
So anyway, do that step now, and then we'll talk in 2 weeks when you need to do it again. Now, if you have a fireplace or a wood stove, get that firewood stacked and cover it and make sure it's in a dry spot. And make sure you've got kindling and matches or fire starter all in a kit. Wet wood is no fun when you're cold. And finally, the pantry. Keep a few shelf-stable meals, extra water, and comfort items like tea, cocoa, or even soup on hand. It doesn't have to be fancy, just the stuff that you're going to want if you're stuck inside or if guests show up unexpectedly. For me, that's always brownie mix and Bloody Mary mix. Nothing says a snowstorm like a Bloody Mary, a puzzle, and brownies baking in the oven.
A little cinnamon in the air, maybe.
Well, the goal here, guys, is not like doomsday prep. It's just smart, simple comfort planning so that you can relax and enjoy the season no matter what the weather throws your way. Better safe than sorry. Time now for Jim's favorite part, the emails. Who do we have?
Well, we've got Ronnie in New York City. He reached out saying his home is 50 years old. His central air and heating were installed 15 years ago, which included 5 vents in the basement. An energy auditor suggested sealing off the basement vents since they're not being used as living space. But an HVAC expert says that closing the vents is going to build up some pressure and then strain the HVAC system. I want to save money every month, but not if it's going to cost me in the long run. So what's the right move?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I suppose since the heating system is 15 years old, it was designed to provide heat to the basement and air conditioning as well. Is it going to strain the system? Well, it might, because if it's not heating or cooling the same volume of air that it was designed to, you may find that system is kind of working harder than it needs to deliver the same amount of heat or air conditioning. I don't think you're going to have a lot of savings by closing off those basement vents. If anything, you might want to consider insulating your basement walls, or certainly the floor between the basement and the rest of the house. But I don't like the idea of shutting such a huge part of the system off. 1 or 2 rooms, okay. But I mean, you're maybe talking about 25% or more of what the system is designed to do. So in my view, I think you leave it as is, or I don't think you're really going to have a lot of expense or issues with that HVAC system. Plus 15 years might be time to update.
If you're tired of staring at a jungle of TV wires, we're going to clean up that clutter and give your wall-mounted setup the polished look it deserves. Right now with Leslie's Last Word. Miss Segretti?
Oh, why, yes, Mr. Kenzie. Here we go. All right, let's be honest. Nothing ruins that sleek, modern look of that flat-screen TV like a tangle of dangling cords. But the good news, hiding them is easier than ever. And one of my favorite fixes is using a cord management system. I mean, these are super easy to install. You paint them to match your walls or cover them with wall covering. I love wall covering. If you've got wallpaper.
No way. You
can match it that way too, you guys. You want it to blend right in, and it's a small upgrade that has a big visual payoff. So you've got all those wires running across the room or maybe across a doorway. Why not use a cord cover or a low profile threshold? This is going to clean up all of those floor-based cords really easily. Great for high traffic areas because they protect the cables, but also keep them out of sight. However, if you want a more permanent fix and you're comfortable with a little DIY, you can go for an in-wall cable kit. Now, these kits let you run wires behind the wall for a completely clean look, just like the pros do. You just want to make sure that you're using components that are rated for in-wall use so that you're staying safe and code compliant. And it's really easy. I mean, you definitely are just opening a hole sort of behind the TV where the cables will go into, and then opening a hole close to the power source or close to all of those components and fishing everything through the back wall. But it does require some planning and the proper equipment. And that's really all you need to say goodbye to the cord chaos and hello to a clean, modern media setup that you're gonna love showing off, because nothing irritates a crazy guest like Leslie Segretti when I'm looking at a pile of cords. I have organized my neighbor desk at work. I'm just saying, it happens.
And even worse, an insurance claim when somebody trips over your stuff.
Yeah, true. Thanks, Jim. Always with the smart tips.
Jim Buzzkill Kenzie.
All right, guys. Well, we have had a great seasonal show for you this hour. We covered a lot to get you ready for the holidays and the winter season, from putting up the holiday decor with the least amount of impact to your home, having peace of mind while you're traveling over the holidays so you don't get home alone, and what you should be stocking up on to be prepared for all the winter Warlock has to dish out. Next week is the big to-do before Thanksgiving, so we're going to share with you 5 fast and stress-free ways to get your home in tip-top shape before the holiday hits. That's all for this hour. Remember, you guys, you can do it yourself, but you don't have to do it alone. See you next week.
On the Money Pit Radio Show. On the Money Pit Radio Show.
Pick up the telephone.
Fix up your home sweet home by calling 888-MONEY-PIT. Woo!
Doug. Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu, is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
This is a Etsy holiday ad, but you won't hear any sleigh bells or classic carols. Instead, you'll hear something original. The sound of an Etsy holiday, which sounds like this. Now that's special. Want to hear it again? Get original and affordable gifts from small shops on Etsy. For gifts that say, I get you. Shop Etsy. Tap the banner to shop now.